Assalamualaikum and hi everyone! This is an educational video for our teaching aids. In this video, we are going to learn about sexual and asexual reproduction. Besides, we are going to correct your misconception about this topic. So, let's join our field trip.
Alright kids, we already arrived at Aquaria for our field trip. Before we start our tour, I want everyone to pay full attention. I will remind everyone to stay in the group and hold your friends' hands. Okay. Okay everyone, look over here. What do we have here? Anyone?
Fish!
Patrick! Hey, that's not Patrick. It's a starfish.
Yeah, good job everyone.
Teacher, that starfish has 3 legs. Isn't a starfish supposed to have 5 legs?
Oh, actually, the starfish is undergoing a reproduction process called as asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is a mode of reproduction in which an individual can reproduce without involvement with another individual of that species, involving 4 types of asexual reproduction, which are binary fission, budding, fragmentation, and parthenogenesis.
Oh, I see.
If starfish undergo asexual reproduction, how about fish, teacher? Do fish undergo the asexual reproduction too?
It is different for fish. Just like human, fish undergo sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is the combination of reproductive cells from 2 individuals to form a 3rd unique offspring.
Oh, I see. Now I understand.
But teacher, what are the differences between asexual and sexual reproduction?
The differences between sexual and asexual reproduction are: in sexual reproduction requires 2 parents, while in asexual reproduction requires 1 parent. Next, in sexual reproduction, the sperm will fertilize the eggs. Meanwhile, in asexual reproduction, single organism makes an exact copy of itself.
The other differences is sexual reproduction will produce offspring that different from the parents, while asexual reproduction will produce offspring that identical to the parent. Lastly, sexual reproduction is consuming time and have genetic variation, while for asexual is fast and easy but have no genetic variation.
Hi fish!
Hi starfish!
Do you know that I reproduce through asexual reproduction?
Oh, I see. I reproduce by sexual reproduction.
They said sexual reproduction is better than asexual reproduction. Is it true?
No, it's wrong. Sexual reproduction is not necessarily better than asexual reproduction or vice versa. If one type of reproduction was clearly advantageous over the other, we would see all organisms reproducing in that manner. However, both types of reproduction still exist in various organisms, telling us that each type of reproduction carries some kind of evolutionary advantage. For example, sexual reproduction allows for variation, but gestation usually takes a long time and it requires heavy parental input. Asexual reproduction occurs quickly, but because all of the offspring have the same genetic information, individuals are more susceptible to disease. Asexual reproduction includes budding and fragmentation, right? Are both of them the same thing?
Actually, budding and fragmentation are not the same thing. They do appear similar, In fragmentation, the parent body breaks into distinct fragments and each fragment develops into a new individual or offspring. While in budding, there must be an outgrowth that is called as bud that develops on the parent. Now, I have one question about sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction requires two parents, right? Do they always have to be two separate individuals?
Although sexual reproduction requires two parents, they do not always have to be two separate individuals. This may sound confusing, but some organisms are hermaphroditic, meaning they contain both male and female gametes. In this instance, those organisms are able to self-fertilize. Despite the fact that these gametes came from the same individual, we still consider this sexual reproduction as two gametes are involved.
Oh, hey fish, I want to tell you one more misconception. Most people think that no organism can do both sexual and asexual reproduction, but actually, some organisms are able to do both sexual and asexual reproduction. This is particularly true for fungi and plants, but rarely in animals. Often, the type of reproduction that they undergo depends on their environmental conditions or the point in their growth cycles.
In conclusion, sexual and asexual are two different things. It is important for us to understand the concept of sexual and asexual reproduction. This way, it won't be any misconception in future.